Today's sponsor is Advancement Courses. Stay tuned at the end of the show for a special coupon for 20% off any of their grad level professional development courses.
Episode 378, What I'm Doing in My Classroom After the Storm.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
So tomorrow I'll be heading back to school. And those of you who've been following the story of Hurricane Michael, there are many, many people who have been impacted by this terrible storm. And I was listening to myself, the show that I aired yesterday, which was Tuesday, and it was like, wow, that person who recorded that show sounds like somebody who is just completely had one of the worst experiences of her life. And yeah, that was true. But that's not the end of the story. So I need to tell you a few other things that have happened today and help make this real to you. Because here's the thing. I'm not yelling at the TV anymore. I'm not yelling at the radio anymore. All the folks who say everybody has power in the national news and they've just moved on because we have this reality TV perspective of life where we only want to watch a storm when people are dying and not look at the human factor. We're not doing that. Because here's the thing. I went to dinner tonight with my husband because we just wanted a place to be cool. And we walked in to the Mexican food restaurant and they told us all we have are fajitas, tacos, and flautas, and no cheese. No guacamole, all the things they didn't have. But you know what? They had cold air and they had ice. That was enough for us. And some folks came in and we started telling stories and we realized, some people are better off, some people are worse off. Morning, cell phone service was restored. So I could actually call my dad and talk to him and hear his voice. And we've been separated some. And I got to call one sister and I got to hear her voice on a voicemail. And then this afternoon I got to talk to another one. And I got to talk to several people. My husband got 5 phone calls from people offering for us to come take a cold shower or stay at their house. Because just having that connection where people can call you, I can't tell you what a difference it makes. You may think that you have tried to call people and they are ignoring you, but it is important to know this. Your calls and your texts are probably not getting through. So when you're dealing with somebody impacted by a disaster, sometimes it's the disconnect that kills you. Those of us who had radio service, we felt like we were more connected. But even then, we were upset and angry because the news was not on the radio. I saw a local TV station. I went across the street and I said, where can we hear you on the radio? And they said, no, listen to us on our app or on Facebook or on the web. And I said, we don't have that here. We only have the radio and we don't even have cell phone service. So please, we don't even know if we're supposed to boil water or not. Well, it almost felt like Facebook was being blocked here, but guess what? Our city was posting the updates for boiling water on Facebook, and none of us could get it. Like I was looking for a message board or something where I could go read the announcements on a board, and we didn't have that. And I think that it's really easy for people who have bandwidth and have power and have water to kind of become technology snobs and not realize that those who have been deprived and sent back to the 1800s don't have those things. I am not nearly as discouraged, largely because I was able to connect with my friends. I was able to cry on a shoulder and have somebody pray with me. People offered to bring us food. And yeah, it's really hard. Jim McBride, the executive pastor at my church, says sometimes you want to bless people, but sometimes you've got to let people be the blessing, and it blesses both of you. And it's very hard to do that. My son John's class is insisting they want to come help us with the yard. And honestly, we're going to let them. But we've also found some neighbors who are in need and are going to do that as well. But I heard a story tonight that kind of gives you a perspective of what worries me most, because one of the responsibilities I'm going to talk to my students about tomorrow is our responsibility to speak the stories for those who cannot speak for themselves. Let me give you this example. I was talking to my friend Kara tonight at the restaurant, and she said, there are these folks who came up to us, this father and mother, and their 2 little bitty children. And the children had matted hair. You could tell they'd been crying. They were upset. And they came up to us and said, we want to clean your yard, but we don't want money. We want you to go get us food. We want milk for our children, and we want some food to eat. Let us clean for that. And they did not speak much English at all. So, of course, they did that. They went and got milk for the children. And then they were able to get somebody to act as an interpreter. And this particular family is a migrant family, and they are here to harvest a certain kind of crop. And that's all I'm going to say, because this is a Prestish family just trying to make it. And that crop is gone. That crop is not going to happen. And they said, okay, well, we're going to help get you a job because that crop is not going to happen. They said, no, we're waiting for this crop. And they're like, that crop is not going to happen. We need to get you a job so you can take care of your family. And they were able to work and help and provide this particular family with food. Well, the truth is, and I'm not going to get into immigration policy and all the debates that are going on. I'm not going to do that, because these are human beings and they don't want to be discovered. So they can't file for help, won't ask for help, don't really want anybody to know they're here, but they've got to feed their children. Their house, had the windows blown out, basically uninhabitable, and they're suffering and they're struggling. And this is the hidden piece of agriculture that people don't understand. When all of these chicken houses and pecan groves and all of these things go away, you've got a lot of workers who are depending on that for their income. The farmers, it is terrible on the farmers. My dad is a farmer. You cannot underestimate the damage for farmers, and it's terrible. But I'm going to tell you, there are some farmers who may go hungry, but not many. It's those that are the workers of those farms that are going to go hungry, that are going to suffer. It doesn't get too cold here, but it can get cold. And we've got a significant number of people without power. Do you think these folks are going to be calling and saying we don't have power? I don't think so. And we are sitting on the cusp of a massive human tragedy here. And yesterday, I heard on the radio again that somebody said everybody was going to have power by like today. And that is not happening. I have some friends in Baker County. They were told they would have power the week before Thanksgiving. I had a friend in Panama City who said, I know you guys are upset. I know it's hard for you guys, but I have neighbors being pulled out of their house dead right now. We haven't found all the dead people yet. So we're still in recovery mode and can't even string up power. And 99% of people are without power right now and water. And some people are stuck in their houses. Okay, so I'm recording this on Tuesday night. It's just 6 days, exactly 6 days after this started happening. I had a visit with my Aunt Sandra and Uncle Jimmy tonight. Kip and I decided we were going to drive around a little bit, because we were, I'm going to admit it, having a little bit of a pity party. As my pastor would say, don't walk around with on your lip. And we were in danger of doing that. So our backs are hurting. So my husband's truck has a heater on the back. Okay, that sounds silly, but we were driving around just feeling that on our backs because we're sore. And we've been pulling logs and doing all kinds of stuff. So we look over and we were like, is that Aunt Sandra and Uncle Jimmy's house? And we were like, oh my goodness, it is. Are they even in there? So we go and we knock on their door, and they are there, and they have all these trees down, and it's just a big old mess. And we started having a conversation and just looking at the damage, and Aunt Sandra talking about being in the closet, and and they just looked, and they were just as happy as they could be. And thinking, they're happy. And it's like, we're here. We're making the best of it. This is life. We've been living a long time, and this is life. And they're just laughing, and they're having a great time. So you know what? It's a matter of perspective. And I'm going to be working with my students on podcasting. We're going to be recording storm stories. And I'm overheating the generator now. So I have to stop recording, but these are some things that I've learned, and Kip says I'm going to knock out the generator if I keep recording. So I am done. Thank you, everybody who cares, and follow me on Facebook for more updates and video. Thanks.
Need some great professional development? Today's sponsor, Advancement Courses, has more than 200 graduate-level online professional development courses for K-12 teachers. You can take these courses for continuing education, salary advancement, or recertification. And these courses have us teachers developing tangible resources to use in our classrooms immediately. Go now to advancementcourses.com/coolcat and use the code COOL20 at checkout to get 20% off any course. With this coupon, a 3 grad credit course is only $359. So go to advancementcourses.com/coolcat to learn more and use the coupon code COOL20. Never stop learning.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.